Hello, everyone. It's me again. Yeah, you remember me complaining about the last video, me having to go through Bandor, and I couldn't really solve my mage pushing dilemma, so I went into this with the worst of expectations. I also chose not to cheat to get the mage potion because, well, I just don't like cheating anyway in games, if it can be avoided at all possible chance. So I decided, well, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. If it turns out that things get a little too hairy in there, I'll just run a little bit. To be honest though, it actually got to a point in here where I was running just to avoid from having to use a mage potion. Yeah, it got to be that bad. I was almost done with the place, and I hadn't used a mage potion throughout the entire thing. But we're running a little low at the time, and if I had to continue fighting, I would have had to use a mage potion. And I started thinking, you know, I don't want to have to be this close to being the area, and just have to start using my mage potion now. That would make me seem a little bit wimpy to have to resort to that, so I won't. So I just ran from the battles that I would have needed magic on. It wasn't so bad, though. What I am surprised about, however, is that I was able to do this at all, and not go through a single mage potion. I mean, that is ridiculous, that I got through this place that easy. Now, to talk about Bandor area itself, aside from the Emperor himself, many other Bandor citizens aren't really that bad. And actually, you're going to see something interesting when we get to the end of this place. I won't spoil it yet, but I will say this much. You're going to see just what Bandor's true face really is, and it's kind of depressing. If you try to go to the front gate, like I'm doing now, they won't let you through. So, you can't get in that way. But, as you saw a moment ago, there is a secret entrance that we can use to get inside the castle. Because, someone was actually speaking out against the Emperor's actions and got put into jail. Now, we will see this character later, but I don't think it happened in this video. Because of how long this area is, I was rushing through it pretty fast, and I dodged just about every chest on the way there. I don't know if I'll go back to get the chest later, because there's really no point, since a lot of the stuff isn't that good. Except for one item, which I did go out of my way to get. You'll see that in a few minutes, but the first section is this little lava cave here, which, despite having lots of fire monsters in it, that mother thinks it's perfectly safe for a little kid to go traveling in it. Truly, she is the mother of the year. But then again, I don't know what else she thinks she can do. If she didn't send her son, then I suppose her husband would probably die of hunger. And I guess that wouldn't be much better. Bah. Maybe he just runs really good, I don't know. If there's one thing I've noticed, however, it's that a lot of the enemies in this part of the game have an absurdly low HP count for the area I'm in. And I never noticed this before. I think it's because I was always a bit too magic happy, so I just wanted to magic spam everything. However, playing this on an LP, I've had to rely more on physical attacks, because I don't want to grind too much, and I'm trying not to bore you people, so I've been rushing through this game pretty fast. As a matter of fact, I've grinded very little in this game, all things considered. So that's really weird. Yeah, I went the wrong way. I got a flame scroll. The flame scroll is much like the jars and cards and whatnot. It just uses a single strong fire attack. I think the scrolls are probably the strongest types, but I don't think you get more than one or two throughout the entire game, so you'll probably never see me using it except to test them out, which I will do. I'm going to make an attempt to test out every type of item in the game, even if I have to use Game Shark to get them. Because some items are dummied and some items are monster drop only. And I don't know if I'll ever get any of those. And I hate evil summoners with a passion. Summon level 3 is not that powerful, truthfully, but you're almost guaranteed to get hit with a magic attack if they do, so it's annoying. However, summon level 4 that you'll see later on is extremely deadly, and there will be enemies that will probably use it. Samson, why can't you just hold on for one more turn? And why are you always slower than everything? Well, you're not slower than everything, mind you, but an enemy has to be pretty slow for you to be faster than it, and it gets kind of annoying at times. Especially since you're one of my power hitters, so I would rather you get out there and get that hit. And Annie is pouring out her speed as usual. She's almost as fast as Taunt. That's pretty sad. Considering I speed spammed him, like, way back in the game. So that's really ridiculous. That downstairs room will become useful later, but right now it's kind of pointless. Since the door to Bandor's ancient tablet is locked, which is what we'll find there. And hello, Razor Demon. I do not like you. You have high defense, you're pretty fast for a gargoyle type, and you know magic. You know Thunder level 1. I don't like Thunder level 1. It kinda hurts. So, every chance I get, I'm going to try to get rid of those. Oh, by the by, they can also call for other Razor Demons, which is also pretty annoying. So if you can't at least kill one a turn, then things can go downhill. Hello, random guard. Prepare to die, random guard. Yeah, the soldiers here are just downright pathetic. Most of the time, they won't even get out a turn on you. They die so fast. Yep, I thought so. They're not worth that much either. They're just kind of a waste of time. However, this one is kind of special. Why? He leaves a key behind. Why, he just didn't drop into the battle, as anyone's guess. But anyway, with that key, we can actually go rescue Sir Kevin's. Actually, it's called Lord Kevin's, my bad. Yeah, the Emperor has to run away because Marion is right on his tail. However, as the Emperor Vander is about to say, they're getting ready to use the battleship. And he just leaves Shutat to take care of the affair with Lord Kevin's. Now, unlike the gate from Marion, you cannot open that gate with a key. It remains locked until you beat the entire area. Later on, you're going to see how annoying this actually is. Very much so. Now, a lot of the enemies here don't really use a lot of magic. Razor Demon 2, and Pseudo Evil Summoners, but other than that, you don't run into a lot of enemies that can. So I've learned you can really go through this place pretty fast, just using minor healing. If I knew that ahead of time, then I probably wouldn't have been as concerned. Trust me, I've actually been neglecting to record this because I was actually afraid of going through it with my limited resources. Because I figured that it was going to take more than one attempt to pull this off. Another random guard, really? I mean, I know their forces are kind of restricted right now, but still, like, you'd think they'd put more than one guard in an area. I mean, if a united force attacks through here, I doubt one guard's gonna do much of anything. Especially if it's just one guard with a bow and arrow. I've played my share of tactics games. Archers by themselves aren't that good, because they have to depend on melee units to hold the forces at bay while they fire from a distance. If they have no melees to fall back on, then they're pretty much screwed, because they can't get a good distance on their foe, and they're gonna get murdered. And yeah, you can't get to this chest yet. Sad. We can open the door to Lord Kevin's, though. Okay, ignoring the kind of painful Star Wars reference there, that is a very sad cutscene. If you recall, way back when I was going to the Dragon Cave, we came upon the graves of Finn's parents. And knowing that he's been there before, you really have to feel sorry for this guy. Especially considering that in the current situation, he has to try his darndest to... Wow, those guys are smart, aren't they? Anyway, he has to try and put his feelings behind him in order to stop Bandor's battleship. That can't be simple, considering what he's just learned. So, you can see just how much he's matured. I know I constantly bring up about the creative team and how good they were, so I cannot be quiet about that, because I pretty much made the point already. And yeah, they like to call for help. I do not like these things, they're annoying. They're not the most dangerous foe in the game, though. That belongs to the evil summoners, due to their outrageous speed and very deadly magics. Yeah, they're not my favorite. Oh, come on. Okay, well at least he didn't use magic. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, what's wrong with me? Anyway. Razor Demons, if they don't use magic, are really a minor threat, but there's no really way to tell when they're going to do it, so it's really up to the luck of the draw there. As we progress, we're going to see more monsters that are going to be like this too. A lot more monsters are going to come with magical abilities, and they're not going to be mage types either, which makes them harder to kill. I'm running really out of things to talk about with this area because, aside from that very important cutscene with Lord Kevin's, there's not really much to really talk about in terms of the story. At least not yet. But trust me, things do get a lot more important. Oh crap! Well, we fell for that one. Why aren't you just killing us now? I mean, it can't be very hard. It's not like we can even reach you from up there. Oh well. I guess they just want to do their own thing. I don't know. This isn't a boss fight either, like the other fight wasn't. You just fight enemies that are a little strong for this area, but you only have to do it once. And Undyne makes very short work of them. Jeez, the Wyverns are really murdered by it, having just about every single HP just sapped away from them. They're also pretty slow. Phantom armors are kind of fast, but not really. They are pretty resistant to fire, but I didn't know how effective it was going to be or not. Yeah, we're kind of stuck, aren't we? Holy crap, it's raining keys. Or not. Have I really seen that guy before? Oh right, wasn't he in Marion Tower? Huh. Yeah, Reimu did something to his head. Some sort of cursed helmet or something. Huh. And despite Reimu saying he has complete control over him, he is helping us. What's his story? Oh well, we'll have to figure that out later. In the meantime, we've got to try and get out of this hellish place. This is the only real path to the battleship, due to that gate being locked. So we've got to kind of do what we can. I take a big risk here with there being two of them right off the bat. Because it is quite annoying having to fight things. Oh, crap. Oh, well, at least he got taken out. Oh. Okay. Go Samson. He's not the most powerful class in the world, but his strength can come in handy at times. So I approve of this. Also, this is something minor, but I have started actually playing the video on my TV while I make these sound recordings. So that makes it a little bit better with dodging the decent issues. Since the same time to sound ratio occurs on the TV than occurs on my computer, which helps a lot. And steel golems are a huge pain in the rear, since normal attacks hardly ever touch them. So without using magic, you're kinda screwed. Plus their attacks do a ton of damage, at least 20. So if two of them are out there, they can easily make a person groggy if they concentrate on the same person. So yeah, that kinda sucks. Definitely not one of my most liked enemies. Huh. Those herbs are really coming in handy out here. A lot more than I was actually expecting. There is a side path to the left, but there's a locked door there, and never a key is affected. So going that way right now is kind of pointless. Oh sweet, and he's faster! Yeah! Huh. That evil summoner got honed big time. This next coming up area isn't very nice. There are a huge amount of fire elemental creatures in here, which not only makes Edward's magic kind of useless right now, except for ice, but there are a couple of creatures in here. One is the fire giant, you'll see them like him later, and the pyro hydra, which I luckily never encountered making this recording, but they are definitely not to be underestimated. They can go twice a turn, which is actually quite abnormal for creatures up to this point. And they are very powerful and can spew fire breath. Definitely not to be underestimated. You want to make sure that they're taken out of the first turn, no matter what. Because more than one turn with these things can really murder a party. You see their lesser cousins later, but I don't think there's another location that I can think of off the top of my head where you fight pyro hydras, which is kind of odd. Dark bishops at this point aren't really much of a thing. You can take them out pretty easily. So there's that to consider. It's really hard for me to tell that if I'm actually lowering the quality when I'm reconverting my files for upload. I'm going to look back at some of my older uploads and see what the difference is, because if you don't know anything about me, note this. I don't have all the time in the world, and that includes actually watching all the videos I upload to see if they turn out okay. That, and I would usually forget anyway, even if I did. For those of you not in the know... Wait, did I already talk about this? I'm not sure if I talked about this in one of my earlier videos or not. But there's a new Sailor Moon series coming out for Japan that's following the most recent manga of Sailor Moon. I don't know much about the manga, nor do I know anything about who's coming out with this new anime over there, but I have high hopes for it. I've recently got into the old dub by, I think, Toei? No, Toei didn't do that one. That was DBC. Who did the original Sailor Moon dub? DIC, I think? Well, whatever. Whoever did it. They are notorious for not having done the best dubbing job in the world, but to be perfectly honest, this one... Oh, wait. Here's the Fighter Giant. I'll get back to Sailor Moon in a second. These guys are a bit more bulkier than their lesser cousin, but the only significant difference is they have a fire spell that hits your whole party that they will sometimes use, but aside from that, they're pretty much the same. They might have a little more HP, but it's hardly noticeable. Anyway, back to Sailor Moon. I've watched about 2 or 3 episodes so far, and I've yet to see anything that really strikes me as overly bad. I mean, yeah, it's not as good as some current anime, but, you know, you can't watch every anime that came out at this time, though, and expect it to be a huge success. Oh, you sucker. Oh, well. Oh, you... Oh, crap. Sleeping powder sucks. Especially when he uses it, because of his huge speed bonus. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with Sailor Moon. I think people are just way too harsh on it. And they really shouldn't be. I mean, you can tell right from the start that this is Magical Girl style anime. So you have to kind of going into it knowing this. But so far, a lot of the complaints against it is, 1, the very bad dubbing, 2, the changes they made to it, which I think is the only thing I can really agree with, and 3, the fact that it appears as being very girly, again, what you're expecting, and that it's just a crappy anime because of it. Yes, it's girly. Yes, there were some things taken out of it that they really shouldn't have. And, yes, the dubbing isn't quite, as good as stuff like DBZ and Chichibuya were, but, again, I'm not so lowbrow that, you know, lowbrow isn't even the word I'm looking for here. I'm not as, I can't think of the word I'm looking for here. Conceited. I'm not so conceited that I'm gonna take just any old anime made back then and just completely bash it or shall I say blast it, for not being perfect. Because I'm not. Whenever I watch something, I look and evaluate everything to see whether it's any good or not. And, sorry guys, I see nothing to hate about Sailor Moon. I can see why it wasn't certain people's cup of tea, perhaps, but I don't see anything that's really wrong with it. I mean, it does everything it promises to be. It's Magical Girl style, and it does it rather well. I could say that other Magical Girl animes are better, but this one's certainly not bad. I could honestly see myself watching this and enjoying it. Because I've enjoyed Magical Girl style in the past, since I watched Magical Girl Ray Earth, that was released way back, and I enjoyed that too. So yeah, there's nothing really wrong with this. I'm just throwing that out there. There's just nothing really wrong with it. The reason I brought that up in the first place is because there's someone I talked to when I got around to watching it again to give it a second chance, and it became obvious to me right away that they were not going to agree with me. Because, and they were actually one of the ones that they actually called themselves anime buff, where they were just the type of people that judged anime on their own merits, and they themselves thought that they could decide whether an anime was truly good or not based on their personal taste. And these are the type of people I don't really like, to put it quite bluntly. I never agree with people doing this, and I've seen a lot of people that have tried to do it, and I think some people have actually gone so far as to create a site dedicated to this very thing, where they take certain animes and give it a rating and pretty much call it the official rating for said anime. I don't know any links off the top of my head, but I went to one time, and I swear, it was the most biased thing I ever saw. Like, stuff like DBZ and Cowboy Bebop and, you know, all the really, really famous ones had such high marks. And I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not gonna say that. However, if you were to look at something like Cowboy Bebop and DBZ and their ratings and compare them with something like, what's a good example here? Like, something like Rave Master, or something like Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh crap, are we gonna get a more plot in a second? I want to get started on this. If I'll just have to pause. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait, because we're almost at where Lord Kevin is at, to try and save him. So I'm gonna wait on that. But I will return to what I'm saying in a second. Just a few more stairs. Still, is Lord Kevin's really the type of person to cry for help? Especially to Finn after what he just said? I'm uneasy about this. There's something very weird. Especially with no one guarding him. And especially no one executing him. Yeah, I'm sure the rope would snap eventually, but I don't know. It does look like him, though. Curse music, what? Oh, it was a trick, really? Oh boy, doesn't he look ugly. Here's some interesting notes about Yeon here. He actually is one of the few vicious ones that actually looks like he's part monster. The other members of the vicious ones have kind of a human shape to them, which I admit is pretty interesting. Huh? Oh snap! The plot thickens. I don't know, he's pretty strong. Oh, crap. Well... Now we need to pull them back up. Ugh, darn it. He weighs too much. Well, I guess that makes two fathers that Finn has lost now. Well, can't get more depressing than that. But we did manage to get ourselves the gold key. And if you save yourself a lot of trouble, you can use escape to bypass the volcano segment, which I heavily recommend doing. Because the enemies in there are kind of rough. Not that these enemies are much better. These stone golems are so annoying. Thankfully, water works pretty good on them. And thankfully, we're also almost done here. It's been a rough ride, but we're almost done. Come on, Samson, you can do it. There we go. And I do apologize if there's some slight desync on the second half of this video. One of my parents woke up, and I had to pause, or rather finish the first sound recording so that I could see who it was. And because of the way WinPad works, I was afraid to re-continue the first segment in worries that I might lose what I had. So I have to make two of them. It's not a huge inconvenience, though I had to make sure that I resumed the second sound recording and simultaneously started, or should I say resumed, what I was watching on my end as well. It can be hard to do those at the same time, and I have to make sure both my hands are doing the same thing. And I freaking hate you, Razor Demon, you stupid piece of crap. Okay. And, well, that's basically it. Anyways, I did say I was going to go back and talk about the Sailor Moon thing and about the guy who had his own. Another thing to talk about. The Angels of Volcano, as you've seen, is an item that's very useful and acts like a heal rain item. But if you use it enough, it will crack. Thankfully, unlike games like Dragon Quest, you can get these repaired. And once you do so, you can use them again. And here's where you use the gold key. Anyway, if things can stop happening in the game, I can talk more about that forum. He would give stuff like DBZ and DBZ, Cowboy Bebop, and even stuff like Tenchi Muyo, I think. Very high marks, but on stuff like on not as well-known stuff like Rave Master, Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, Yu Yu Hakusho is kind of well-known now, but it didn't used to be. He gave these extremely low marks. Like, we're talking like 2 or 3 out of 10. Basically, just because not only they weren't popular, but you didn't hear much about their fan base. It was kind of low at the time, and he said his opinion was, if it doesn't have a very, very strong fan base, that there's a reason for it, and then that they just suck. And I do not like this guy at all. The problem I had with this guy is that not only I didn't like his opinions, but I didn't like the crowd that hang around him either. Oh yeah, things were quite stupid around this forum because, believe it or not, there were people that agreed with him, like strongly. And basically, if you weren't you weren't in his little crowd of people that liked his opinions, then you basically had your account banned. I had one of my friends that went through this on multiple occasions on his forum, and I actually became good friends with him on Skype. And he actually said that this forum is pretty much just a haven for trolls, and that he totally lost interest in it. And I think that's when we both stopped going there. I think I originally went there just to promote my stuff, because it was pretty heavily populated, but I pretty much wasted my time doing that, since no one really cared. It was more an anime place than a video game place. Oh wait, more plot. Here we go. Yeah, Shutat's been pretty much using the Emperor the whole time. However, the Emperor's now gonna try to get the battleship away from Shutat with his navy. However, that's not working. Yeah, apparently this battleship has like nuclear cannons that they can shoot, which is quite ridiculous. It's also extremely ridiculous for the type of setting this game has. He's shooting, but no one's aiming at him. Oh, crap. Yeah, the Emperor was a pawn the entire time. Sutat was just using him for his own ends. And now that Sutat has the battleship, there's really no one that's safe until we take him out. However, in order to do that, we're going to need extra firepower ourselves. But where can we get such extra power from? Well, we'll have to wait till next episode to figure that out. But you will find out soon enough. It's Domino! Yeah, apparently you can just slice the light orb in pieces somehow. Awesome, we get a ship now as well. Things couldn't get any better right now. However, him joining us, there is a slight disadvantage to that, and you'll see why very soon. By the way, I did notice something strange in town. When I tried to get the Bandor shop to sell mage potions, I accidentally sold it by sources, trying to test it out, and as it turns out, even sources are rebuyable from the weapon store. I honestly didn't think they were going to let you get away with that, but they do. Interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind for later. Yes, be sure to get the world map from under Domino's table now, because once you actually talk to Domino, you can't get back inside the ship. Ooh. So it looks like Finn isn't the only one whose parents have suffered from this war. Domino's has as well. His is a bit more personal, though. Ooh, I see some chests. I'm sure Domino won't mind if we pillage them. Healing herb. Healing herb. Oh, dragon cards. That's better. Don't know why he bothered to put a couple of herbs in a chest, though. Seems kind of odd place to put them. Yeah, we can only fight effectively with 5 people. So, I'm going to have to get rid of Samson here. Also, in addition to this, there's a slight disadvantage. Now, at this point, we can start using the light orbs as a free warp function, whenever we need it. Which is more than a little convenient. I just wish they would have given it to you earlier in the game. Would have helped a lot when Samson was cursed, but oh well. Domino's at level 15. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I will be using Game Shark to fix this problem with every new party member. Every new party member that I get will come at around my level. So yeah, that's going to be taken care of. Domino didn't quite hit a level at that, but he will soon. I really do hate it when people give you late game party members at extremely low levels. I mean, some RPGs aren't as bad about it, but some are just such a pain, because you have to grind so much, and it's a pain to have to do that. If you're not going to make it easy to level up, then you should at least have a default level, which makes a little more sense. Since level 15 people, or 16, would not be very effective here. So yeah, that really sucks. Before I turn the game off, there's a couple extra things I need to show off. One thing is something I actually forgot to grab, and it is very useful. If I recall, I think you only find one in the game, but it's an item that, while limited use, is pretty useful once you actually find a good time to use it. Now, each person says something different if you talk to them in town to transfer them from place to place. And instead of warping to the next location, they just kind of join you for some reason. That's just weird. Oh well, I think it's just because of limited animations, which is why they had to do that. But it is noticeable. Yeah, this is way back in Marion Castle. I think the problem with this thing is that it was blocked when I was coming in here to rescue everyone from Bandora Control, because a dead corpse was actually in the way of entering the tower. Or not. Huh. It's weird. Is it in this one? No. Okay, one of these has a secret entrance. Come on! Where is it? Come on. It has to be here somewhere. Yeah, I'm kind of stumped. What? Is it up there? Pain. Very much a pain. Bah. There it is. Okay, secret treasure chest. The source of courage. This is probably the best source in the game by far. And it's probably the one I'm going to be using on Domino. Once used, it gives you a guaranteed level up, no matter how much experience you need. Void level 1 is an instant death spell that hits a group of enemies, but it's not terribly successful, and there's better magic out there, really. However, do be careful of later enemies that use it, because their death spell can completely ignore grogginess and cause instant death. Yeah, that's a very cheap move for the enemies to use, I mean. I don't know if anyone actually uses Void level 2 on you, but it is very annoying. But yeah, the only thing I'm gonna do left in this video is to go and save. I'll probably rest that and too. But hey, we accomplished a lot in this video. We totally, wrecked the Bandora area completely. I mean, jeez. I never expected for a second that I was gonna get off that easily. But, I guess I can get lucky. That is probably one of the more annoying areas to go through, though. The rest of this game is gonna be a breeze, at least in terms of dungeons. Pretty soon, though, I'll have to do the level grind of Destiny, since I'm not quite at the right level to get past the next area. Though I may take a side trip first, to an optional area. But that'll be later. Goodbye, everyone.